What's going on, guys? It's Salvaje. Now I'm back at it again with another Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review. We're going to be reviewing the brand new Ghost Pistol that we got in Fortnite Save the World. Now, as you guys know, when it comes down to my in-depth weapon reviews, I don't just want to review a weapon based on how much damage it does. That's just a boring review style. I want to see the utility of the weapon. I want to see, how the weapon handles itself throughout multiple heroes and throughout multiple circumstances. And I have to say the Ghost Pistol is definitely a weapon that is pretty good overall, okay? And I definitely think this is definitely a must-have in your arsenal. So if you don't have enough time and you don't want to watch the whole review, yeah, this thing is a must-buy. It's an amazing pistol. But if you want to learn more about it, of course, let's definitely get right into it. Okay, so the number one thing this pistol specializes on is taking out multiple amounts of husk. Its special ability is that it shoots a projectile, and that projectile is of course going to pierce targets. Now, the reason why that's a big deal, and the reason why that's something I've been looking forward to for a long time, is because I've always wanted sort of like a pistol. I've always wanted a weapon that was able to shoot through multiple crowds of husk. Like that, when the husks get to me, they're either completely weak or they can't even get to me in the first place. And I just want to point out that this weapon does that job specifically well. And I also just want to point out the projectile that this weapon shoots sort of has like a pretty huge hitbox. So sometimes even if you sort of miss your shot by a little bit, you can of course still damage the husks that are of course trying to get to you. The weapon, on top of all that, has an amazing range. The husk can literally be 10 tiles away from you. You're going to shoot this pistol from that long range and you're still going to do not some low damage to them, but some actual decent damage. The point is, you can actually use this Ghost Pistol and shoot husks within medium to long ranges. Like that, when they get to you, they're either 1, very very weak, or 2, they didn't even get to you in the first place because you just melted them down with this pistol. Specifically if you're using Quick Draw Calamity or a Ranger hero, like for example Ranger Deadeye. The point is that this pistol is just very very effective at doing things that pistols weren't really able to do in the past. You're able to do some pretty decent damage to husk, and for the most part you're also able to do some decent damage to husk from the medium to long ranges. And again, keep in mind, you're not just damaging one husk with a projectile that you shoot with a bullet. You're damaging multiple husks because the projectiles pierce through all of the husks that you're of course trying to shoot at. Another thing that I want to point out about the Ghost Pistol is the fact that it's not super amazing when it comes down to husky husk damage or miss monster damage. You are going to be able to do some pretty decent damage to things like blasters and husky husk with this pistol, but you're better off just using a better pistol like a Bald Eagle or of course the Last Word. But that's what I like about this pistol. It's not completely overpowered, it's just balanced, and it's balanced in a way that makes the weapon actually usable and actually effective, okay? The pistol doesn't do massive damage to miss monsters, but that's what you have the bundle bus for, that's what you have the Last Word for, etc, etc, etc. On top of all that, the pistol also has slow shooting projectiles, which means that if the husks are within long range and your tracking isn't really that great, you are going to of course miss some of your bullets. But then again, that doesn't really hold the pistol back as much. And the reason why it doesn't really hold it back as much is because, keep in mind, if the husks are within long range, they're not going to be of almost no threat to you. And when they get to the medium type ranges, you're going to be able to most likely land their shots on them. On top of all that, husks are always sort of like grouped up together. In other words, you're not really going to be missing a lot of your shots because when you shoot at a group of husks, you are going to be getting a pretty decent amount of husk as well. Anyways, another thing that I really like about this pistol is the fact that it has snare. It holds back the husk, and of course if you have the perk damage to snare targets, you're of course going to be getting even more damage on this pistol. Therefore, basically you putting yourself at a situation where you're able to perform very well and very effectively with this pistol. Another thing that I want to point out about this pistol, and in my opinion is one of the things that makes this pistol an awesome pistol even more, is the fact that if you want, you can trap yourself in a box using this pistol and you can literally shoot husk through the box, because again, the weapon literally shoots through structures as well as husk as well as even mountains. Okay, that's how awesome the projectile on this thing is. It's completely amazing. All right, last but not least, recommended perks and recommended heroes. Quick Draw Calamity is an amazing hero to use the Ghost Pistol with, and of course Ranger Beetlejuice or Ranger Deadeye is also very good. If you have Field Agent Rio as well, you could use Field Agent Rio. When it comes down to recommended perks, I just went with a simple critical rating, critical damage build with this pistol because I do believe that getting critical damage shots with this pistol is very worth it since you're going to be landing a critical damage shot within multiple husks. And when it comes down to the star rating, I'm going to give this pistol a 5 out of 5 stars. It's definitely a must-have. It's a very unique pistol. It gets the job done, and it does its job very, very well. I hope you guys enjoyed the in-depth review. Please feel free to share the video with your friends and drop it a like. See you guys in the next one. Peace.